So you've probably played around with AI, right? Asked it a few questions, maybe got it to write an email. But today, we're going way beyond that. We're going to dive into what it really takes to go from just a casual user to someone who gets incredible results. If you feel like you're just scratching the surface of what AI can do, stick around. This is for you.
Okay, so first up, let's look at the reality of AI use. You'd think with all the hype, everyone and their grandma is on these things 24/7. But check this out. When you add it up, a whopping 37% of people have either never used an AI chatbot or just poked it once or twice. That's a lot. It tells you there's a huge gap between the buzz and how people are actually using this stuff.
And that really brings us to the big question for today, doesn't it? Are any of us really getting everything we can out of this technology, or are we just, tapping on the glass?
To figure that out, we're going to go on a little journey together. First, we'll nail down the #1 mistake most beginners make. Then, I'll show you a super powerful prompting method called the create technique. After that, we'll build out your AI toolbox with the right tools for the right jobs. And finally, we'll talk about why this is all so much more than a cool trick. It's the new competitive edge.
All right, let's get right into it. The single biggest thing holding people back. It's not the AI they're using, it's how they're talking to it. Those short, one-line questions, they're basically the digital equivalent of mumbling and hoping someone understands you perfectly. It just doesn't work. And here's what I mean. The difference is just night and day. On the left, the beginner prompt gets you a generic, boring travel blog post. But look at the pro prompt on the right. You're giving the AI a job, you're giving it context about your family, your interests, and even telling it exactly how to present the information. One gets a list, the other gets a strategy. That is everything.
So, how do you write prompts like that? The good news is you don't need to be some kind of supercoder. You just need to learn how to be a good director. And there's a simple, amazing acronym that can help you do it.
And here it is, the create technique. Honestly, this is a total game changer. Let's break it down real quick. C is for character. Tell the AI who to be. R is for your request. Be super clear about what you want. E is for example, give it a style to copy. A is for adjustments, your personal needs, like baby-friendly. T is for the type of output you want, like a table or a list. And E is for any extra guidance you want to add. Each letter adds a new layer of detail that completely transforms the result.
So what's the payoff for all that? Well, instead of that useless generic go-a-trip idea, you get a real personalized plan. It's got specific hotels that work for a family with a toddler. It's got restaurants that match your vibe. See, you're not just getting random information anymore. You're getting a genuine solution.
Okay, so now you have the master skill prompting. The next step for a pro is to build a killer toolkit. You wouldn't use a hammer for every single job around the house, right? Same thing here. You need a specialized AI Swiss Army knife.
Let's start with presentations, because who actually enjoys making them? A tool like Gamma II is incredible. You literally give it a topic, and boom, it spits out a whole professional-looking slide deck. And that's just one tool. For video, you've got amazing options like Runway or Pika AI. For just getting more done at work, there's stuff like Notion AI. The key is to find the right specialist for the job.
But even within one category, you've got choices. Take presentation tools again. Chronicle AI, for example, is known for having a really beautiful design sense, maybe even better than Gamma, but sometimes the content isn't quite as deep. So, a pro knows the landscape. You pick the tool that's best for the specific task at hand. Content or style, you decide.
Now, what about images? We have Create for text, and luckily there's a similar idea for making incredible AI art. It's called the picture technique. This is where you start thinking like a photographer. What's the photographic style? Cinematic, vintage. What's the camera angle? Low and dramatic. What's the lighting? Golden hour? Are we adding any effects, like lens flare? What's the render style? And finally, any extra details, like sweat on a character's face. This is how you create magic.
And trust me, you're going to want a solid technique like this because the field is absolutely packed. We're talking more than 10 major AI image generators out there right now, and each one is a little different. A framework like Picture gives you the power to get amazing results from any of them.
So, if you just want the best of the best for realism, who's the current champ? Well, according to the source material, the one everyone's talking about is Google's Nano Banana Pro. When you put it head-to-head against others, it's just praised for creating these mind-blowingly hyper-realistic images. So if that's what you're after, you know where to start.
All right, let's bring this all together. We've talked about skills, we've talked about tools, but why does this really truly matter? Well, because mastering AI isn't just a fun hobby anymore.
It's quickly becoming a basic skill you need to have for your career, just like knowing how to use email or a spreadsheet.
I mean, this quote really just says it all, doesn't it? The fear isn't that a robot is coming for your job. The real risk is being replaced by another person who has learned how to use these tools to be faster, more creative, and more effective than you. It's about working with AI, not against it.
So there you have it. We've looked at the big mistake. We've learned the create and picture techniques, and we've started building your pro toolbox. You now have the framework to stop being a passive user and become a true creator. So the only question left is, what are you going to build first?